Hello, everyone. This is Lashonda with Love and Saving Angels, peer to peer. We're going to be talking about trauma and what trauma is. Remember, I said each time we're going to do different type of segments until we're able to discuss trauma, until we're able to form the group, and we're able to express what our trauma was and how it affects us and how it affects our daily lives. So, what is trauma? Trauma is a psychological and emotional response to an experience that feels overwhelming to you, that feels frightening to you, or harmful to you. Something that exceeds your ability to cope in the moment. Okay? It is not just about the event itself that occurred to you, right? But how it affects us and how we deal with our everyday lives after the trauma. Knowing that two people can go through the same thing, the same situation, and experience it very, very differently. Not stating that one person's trauma is more traumatic than the other person's trauma. Is that we can both go through something similar. We can both go through something the same way, and we both deal with it differently. What may feel traumatic to one person may not feel the same to another. Trauma can come from many types of experiences, such as abuse. Abuse trauma can be emotional, it can be physical, it can be sexual. A different type of trauma is the loss of a loved one. Accidents, violence, neglect, abandonment. Growing up in an unstable, unsafe environment. All of these different type of events, all of these different type of scenarios can have a different type of trauma on people. Some people deal with it very well and don't have a traumatic experience behind it, or don't experience the traumatic feelings that other people feel. It can show up in different ways. Strong emotional reactions, fear, anger, sadness, numbness, difficulties trusting others, flashbacks, avoiding certain places, certain things, certain situations, changing our moods, sleep, or behavior. At times, at its core, I shouldn't say at times, but at its core, trauma is about how an experience impacts your sense of safety, control, and well-being. Healing from trauma often involves processing those experiences, rebuilding a sense of safety, and learning ways to cope and with, I'm sorry, you guys, I got sidetracked. To cope with the experiences that we deal with, right? So how do we move forward? See, I have, like in my other segment, I have questions about how is it our fault that the trauma that we experience, and is it our responsibility to deal with it a certain type of way, or how we deal with it? In this segment, the question is, how do we continue to move forward? So these are the questions in our group that we will be answering, we will be discussing, we will be talking about. And I'm going to say in about a week or so, maybe 2 weeks, we'll start spreading, like going off in groups and talking about what we experience, what we're going through, how we're coping, how we're moving forward, and things of that nature. So in this space, there is no judgment. I'm always going to say that. In our space, there's no judgment. There's no comparing. And there's no minimizing. at any point, right? And everything is always going to remain confidential. So today we had to go over what does trauma mean? What is trauma? And let me tell you this. Since I have been researching, studying, reading about trauma, I have learned a lot. Okay, I have learned that some of the things that I have went through, I didn't consider it as a trauma, right? I didn't say, oh, that was traumatic, or that was a traumatic experience for me, or, it affected me until I started doing research and realizing that, oh, my mood did change, or that did change, or that did happen, or I did feel that type of way. So, yeah, we're going to get deeper and deeper. But once again, I thank you guys for listening, watching, paying attention, share, like, and talk to people. Love you guys. Bye.